Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. 7:30 kickoff at the Emirates as Arsenal, with a perfect record, 4 wins out of 4, take on Aston Villa, who don't have quite that same perfect record. It's been a tough start to the season for Steven Gerrard's side. And it doesn't look like it's going to be much easier for them this evening. A real tough ask, you feel, for the visitors this evening against an Arsenal side who really have looked very solid in the early stages of the season. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Harry Jones taking you through the action. Harry, can we give Aston Villa much of a chance this evening?
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, they're not the informed side coming into it. It's always going to be a tough game. They went off the pitch last time out to the boos from the crowd, and that sort of reception means that you can tell it's not a healthy atmosphere over in the Midlands. So they've got to put a statement out today. But this Arsenal side are flying, aren't they? They're in really good form, and well, the record speaks for itself. Unbeaten in 5, 100% record in the league, and they're playing the football that you watch, and you see them as a side who are going to be right at the top this season. You
certainly feel so. There's a real crunching challenge there inside the first 30 seconds from Bukayo into the back of Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal's number 9 just needed a moment to pick himself up there, but we are back underway, and it's Arsenal pushing forward down the right-hand side now with new club captain Martin Odegaard under a bit of pressure. Then loses the ball to his to his opposition captain there, John McGinn. The free kick is given against McGinn. Didn't think there was too much in that, but referee Rob Jones obviously feeling as though there was just a bit too much of a push there from the Villa man.
Yeah, he's a player that likes to get involved, isn't he, John McGinn? He's always in and amongst the action, and I think he just went a little bit too heavy there for the referee's liking. So Arsenal, really good chance now to throw some bodies into the box and work on one of these these set piece tactics that they've got the players to deliver the ball in the box, haven't they? Odegaard and Martinelli standing over it. They've definitely got the quality.
They certainly do. Villa trying to negate that by setting up as high as they can with the offside. Now the ball does come in from Gabriel Martinelli, headed away back into midfield. Odegaard keeps it alive, goes back to Kieran Tierney, who stayed back as the last man for Arsenal. He then plays the ball into the box. There was potentially a push there from Martinelli, but even if there wasn't, the ball goes out of play anyway. So I'll just remind you of the two teams very quickly. Aaron Ramsdale is in goal for Arsenal. It's a back four of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Kieran Tierney. The two holding midfielders are Granit Xhaka and Albert Lokonga. The three ahead of them are Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Martinelli, with Gabriel Jesus as the front man. For Villa, it is Emi Martinez in goal with the back four of Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings and Luca Digne. The three in midfield are John McGinn, Boubacar Kamara and Jacob Ramsey, with Leon Bailey, Emiliano Buendia and Ollie Watkins as the front three. I did Villa's last game, and they were pretty disappointing in that game, and as you said, they were booed off the pitch as well after that to defeat at home to West Ham. And Steven Gerrard has made a few changes. Villa are trying to get on the attack now, but it is Buendia, finds Bailey, who then touches that ball into Ramsey. Ramsey trying to thread that ball through, and it's away for a goal kick in the end. But that was good from Villa. They just saw a bit of space heading forward towards the Arsenal penalty. There's a long ball hoisted up in the air by Cash. It's actually missed in the air there by Gabriel, and then from that moment on it looked as though Ramsey might just get it through to Buendia. He did, but his effort goes over the bar.
Yeah, it's a really nice positive start there from Villa. I mean, they caught Arsenal sleeping. Got a bit fortunate with the bounce there. Gabriel missing the ball completely, tries to get back into a position, and then once again loses out. So not the best start for the Arsenal defender. He's been very solid this season, but Gabriel caught out a couple of times there, and Buendia couldn't really get the shot on target there. He was sort of snatching at it. As soon as it got into his feet, it would have been difficult to direct it goalwards, but a very good start for Steven Gerrard's side.
Well, they need to try and maintain this, of course. Arsenal, you just get the feeling that if Arsenal were to score early on in this game, it really would put the pressure on Villa, and the Gunners have got some space here now down the left-hand side with the cross coming in. Oh, it's over here. No chance for Gabriel Jesus getting on the end of that. It was Martinelli with the ball in from the left-hand side. It's one of 3 games that have kicked off at 7:30 this evening. Also on our service, you've got Bournemouth against Wolves and Man City against Nottingham Forest. It's goalless in those 2 games after 5 minutes. Then starting in 10 minutes at 7:45, West Ham against Spurs, and at 8 o'clock, Liverpool against Newcastle. All those games are available on our service this evening, as is the Lancashire Derby in the Championship between Blackpool and Blackburn. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff as well, as McGinn heads the ball on, looking for Watkins. Buendia then charging in. Villa really are trying to press at Arsenal here early on, but it's cleared back into the Villa half, hoisted up in the air by Tyrone Mings. Headed back into midfield there by Buendia, and there's a challenge in the air there between Lokonga and McGinn. I'm not sure if the referee's given a free kick here. It may just be because it's a head injury here, although McGinn's certainly claiming as though he might have been swiped at there by the Arsenal man.
Yeah, he's got stuck in early on here, John McGinn. He's been at the forefront of a couple of incidents there. He's holding his face, but Villa definitely starting well here. I mean, they needed to. It's what we needed to see from Villa after their poor start to the season. It does seem as though Sambi Lokonga there entered in with a slight elbow into the face of John McGinn, so it will be a tough one, but I'm not sure whether the referee noticed it. Will give the free kick or not.
Well, it's, as I say, it's one of those that he doesn't need to. It was just a drop ball in the end. So yeah, as you said, it's not a free kick. I think if the referee had just seen the replay that we'd have seen, I think he probably would have given a free kick. Although it's never going to be enough for a red card. He's leading with the arm, but it's not a full swipe there with the arm, I think, which would have made things a bit more serious for Lokonga. But I suppose Arsenal need to do that. McGinn's probably the most physical player that Villa have, so Arsenal need to try and counter that wherever they can. Bit of pressure here on Ben White, just to held the ball up, and he plays one back towards Saliba with Watkins closing him, and that forces Saliba into a poor pass. Ramsey then picks it off and finds Leon Bailey down the right hand side. Bailey getting towards the edge of the area, just been stood up there by Tierney, but Villa still keeping it alive at the edge of the box as Bailey now going back towards Cash. Inside now to Ramsey. Ramsey back to Bailey, still at the edge of the area, trying a cross which is charged down by Gabriel Jesus. Bailey with his arm up straight away there. I think he was appealing a handball against the Arsenal man, but the referee certainly looking at it with... looking at Rob Jones, he wasn't interested in that, and then a ball into the area from Bailey. In theory for Ollie Watkins is overhit, and it's back with Ramsdale. But Villa, certainly after 6 minutes, seeing more of the ball in attack so far.
Yeah, they have, and I think Arsenal have just started a little bit shaky. They're losing out of possession a couple of times as Bukayo Saka skins away from a couple of players.
What's a run? This is from Saka, starts on the halfway line, gets all the way into the penalty area, just been held up there inside the box. Mings, does he bring him down? Referee's not interested. Certainly Bukayo Saka feels as though he was... thrown off the ball there, but we play on for the time being. McGinn is off down the left-hand side, tries to thread a ball through towards Ollie Watkins. Watkins has got Saliba just in front of him, and having to play this back for Buendia as Mikel Arteta just showing his team to slow things down. The ball goes out of play. Bukayo Saka is trying to appeal to Craig Pawson, who's our fourth official this evening. Doesn't look as though we've had any... well, the referee's just saying that we aren't going to check it, so hopefully we'll get to see a replay of it now as well. But looking at it live, I thought there was quite a lot of contact there from Mings. Yeah,
it did seem so. It looked as though he did have a handful of the shirt, so we just see a replay here. Saka enters the box, decides to turn back on himself. Yeah, Mings does come across and he's holding the player. I think Saka's always looking for it there. I think he's going to ground with his back to goal. Not really sure whether it's enough to give a foul.
Yeah,
I mean, comes across with the arm.
Mings is holding on to him, but is that contact from Mings enough to bring Saka down? I think Saka wants to go down there, as you said, and after a quick VAR check, it looks like we are ready to play on here. Throw on taken by Ben White into Albert Lokonga. And he sees Kieran Tierney in some space down the left-hand side. Arsenal need to start getting the ball forward a bit more. Villa have made a positive start in these first 8 minutes. Gabriel Martinelli now back towards Lokonga. Now Xhaka switching play over towards Saka. It's just over his head. And although he does actually get a touch on it in the end, but it's away for a goal kick in any case. Saka's unhappy with the linesman there. He feels as though perhaps Digne was just pushing at him there. But Steven Gerrard, he's under a lot of pressure. I think quite a few people were surprised with the sacking of Scott Parker, and the sort of the comments on social media were that perhaps Steven Gerrard would have expected to have been the first manager to go this season.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of managers that you would have put ahead of Scott Parker. As another big challenge comes in from McGinn on Ben White. It'll be another free kick, I think, in favour of Arsenal. But yeah, there's a couple of managers that you maybe would have picked ahead of Scott Parker to be the first manager to lose their job in the Premier League. But Gerrard, for now, has kept his job, and he's got to do everything he can to try and get the Villa fans back on his side. And I think with the start that we're seeing today, he's certainly one step in the right direction.
Absolutely. It's only 9 minutes gone, but certainly positive signs here from Villa, who are in their all-black away strip this evening. Here come Arsenal now down the left-hand side with Gabriel Martinelli. He's got Jacob Ramsey for company. That's good work from Ramsey. Not only does he win the ball, but he actually brings the ball out himself. But that's good work from Martinelli to win it straight back for Arsenal, though. And he goes back towards Saliba on the halfway line. Ben White now pushing forward for the Gunners down the right-hand side. He finds Saka. Saka wanted to play it forward, but Villa are doing what they can to restrict Arsenal by playing a very high offside line. Arsenal are in possession on the halfway line, but Villa are pretty much about 30, maybe even 35 yards out from goal here, trying to restrict Arsenal in any space they have in front of the box. That should be a free kick to Arsenal, though, as a pass is played in towards Lokonga, and he was tripped by Boubacar Kamara. So a chance now for Arsenal to try and get this ball into the area. I suppose that's always that's the real test. Villa starting positively with some attacking possession, but it's how they respond when Arsenal have a good 5-minute spell. And we were getting replays of the foul that led to the free kick. The free kick was taken quickly, and the live pictures we got were only showing us the end of the move with Jesus striking it at the near post and a save from Martinez. But it was a quick free kick, and it was straight to Jesus as well.
Yeah, it was. They just switched off there, Villa, and a really nice ball from Odegaard floats it over the top of the defence perfectly on a plate for Gabriel Jesus, and he's done really well. Tried to squeeze it at the near post. Really good save from Emi Martinez, but Arsenal still coming forward with a corner.
That's right. The Villa defence were asleep, as was the TV director, showing us that replay of a rather nothing foul when we should have been seeing the chance for Arsenal. But here comes the corner kick from Saka. It's headed across goal by Martinelli. Drops back towards Martinelli at the edge of the 6-yard box. His strike is headed up in the air by Mings. Bit of head tennis now at the edge of the penalty area. Won't sit up for any Arsenal player. Xhaka does get on the end of it. Oh, he tried to thread that through to Jesus. Maybe Xhaka should have shot himself, but it's played back in towards Martin. Oh, it's deflected and it's just wide. Gabriel Magalhaes with the strike in the end. Villa having real problems in clearing that corner kick. Bouncing 4 or 5 times before a shot finally got away, and it looks like it's going to be another corner.
Yeah, it looks that way. I just want to see another replay, but really good build-up from Arsenal there. Looked very hungry there to keep the ball. A bit scrappy though, but they got fortunate with a couple of lucky bounces. They're really unfortunate though to not get the ball through to Gabriel Jesus, who was there waiting. But Saka now has a chance from the edge of the box, but it's blocked away.
Blocked away and now threaded back into the area by Gabriel. Gets a chance to shoot after his initial pass was blocked. He's now appealing for a handball after his initial effort was blocked. He feels as though there might have been a handball. Referee Rob Jones doesn't give anything live. We'll see if a VAR wants to check it. But Emi Martinez comfortably saving the second effort there from Gabriel. It's 11 minutes gone. Here it is, goalless, though I am getting word that there may be a goal for Manchester City against Nottingham Forest. As good as Forest have looked in a few of their games this season, you just get the feeling that anybody playing at the Etihad, it's only a matter of time before City either take the lead or retake the lead, as it was at the weekend against Crystal Palace. Yeah,
exactly. I think they're a team that nobody wants to come up against, are they, as Villa are moving forward.
Yeah, they are here with Leon Bailey up against Kieran Tierney at the edge of the area. Bailey trying to find space for a cross. His cross gets a deflection, but it still ends up at the head of Jacob Ramsey. Heads it towards the penalty area. Initially headed away by Lokonga. Still a loose ball here for Villa potentially, and it's with Leon Bailey. Had no options to go into the box. Has to go back towards the halfway line for Ezri Konsa. But Villa still keeping it alive down the right-hand side. There was a goal for Manchester City against Nottingham Forest there on 12 minutes. And guess who scored? It's Erling Haaland. Absolute goal machine that City have got their hands on this season. Starting on the front foot, and you just wonder how much better he's going to get as well as he gets experience. And my goodness me, that's a very strong challenge, and it's going to be a yellow card. But it's Gabriel's very unhappy. A couple of the Arsenal players trying to get at Jacob Ramsey. He's very strong in defending himself there and saying there was nothing wrong with that. The referee has shown him a yellow card, but just from the way it looked live, it wasn't a good challenge there from Jacob Ramsey.
No, it really wasn't. He came in very rash there, and yeah, he's very unfortunate how his foot rolls over the top of the ball there and just catches the ankle of Gabriel Martinelli, but it's a nasty challenge. He's gone in with the studs up, and I don't think he can have any sort of complaints.
No, I think he's lucky that he was that close to Martinelli. He never got a chance to properly extend his foot there, because I think that it was almost his knees that sort of swiped Martinelli down. But the intent wasn't good there from Jacob Ramsey. Got to be so careful now in terms of how you do slide challenges. And Martinelli back on his feet, but it's been quite a physical start in this game. Both sides trying to get at each other here. And certainly perhaps a reflection of their managers. Both Mikel Arteta and Steven Gerrard weren't afraid to use a bit of physicality when they were midfielders. But Arsenal now just taking the free kick short. It's back here with Saliba, who's been getting rave reviews in his first few games for Arsenal. Ben White now to Bukayo Saka. But Villa once again organised and playing high up the field here as well, making it very difficult for Arsenal to just play their way into some sort of attacking possession. They've really got to try and dissect this Villa defence through the home side. It's with Gabriel Martinelli now, a ball over the top, one for Jesus to chase, but he's asking too much of his Brazilian compatriot there, and that one is straight out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a nice idea there from Martinelli. Came back inside, didn't really have the option unless he wanted to drift it back short to his centre-backs. He's such a positive player. He always wants that ball forward, and he tried it over the top. Jesus just couldn't quite latch onto it. Had a little bit too much weight on it. Rolled out for the goal kick.
Well, a bit of a let-off there for Villa. They played out from the back from a goal kick, and after just 4 passes, they gave the ball away, and they gave it away just in front of their manager as well. Steven Gerrard wouldn't have been impressed with that, but then Granit Xhaka's pass to Odegaard was a bit overhit, so in the end, Villa get the ball straight back. But they've got to be very careful against an Arsenal side. They've got so much pace in that attack. If Villa do short passes out from the back and get it wrong, then they could get punished very easily.
Yeah, they can. I mean, this Arsenal side, we've already seen the threat that they have in front of goal, and they've given the ball away once
they've won it back, absolutely. Here comes Odegaard now, threads the ball in towards Jesus, who muscles past Tyrone Mings. He tries to play a ball across the 6-yard box. Martinez gets a touch, comes back for Odegaard, who's charged down. Second effort is wide, and Arsenal are appealing all sorts here. They're appealing a handball, they're appealing a corner. I'm not sure they're going to get either here, but once again, we didn't even get a chance to finish the point about Villa having to be careful in playing out from the back, and Villa lost the ball again. It was a throw on Digne in towards Watkins, and then it was just a very sort of lazy ball there from Kamara. Gave Arsenal the chance to get the ball in. Tyrone Mings there's no way that Gabriel Jesus should be able to roll Tyrone Mings in the way that he did. And in the end, the effort from Odegaard comes off the shoulder of Tyrone Mings. I think he was appealing a handball there, but I don't think there was enough to say that was a handball. It is a corner to Arsenal down the right-hand side, whipped in by Saka. He was trying to get that in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared into midfield, and now a potential chance here for a counter-attack for Villa. Bailey, though, can't get the ball out from under his feet. He does eventually get it to John McGinn, who then sends a long ball down the right-hand side here for Ollie Watkins. Watkins immediately has Lokonga for company, going back towards Ramsey. Now it's with Buendia. He runs straight into an Arsenal man. He's never going to get a free kick for that, but Arsenal will get a free kick for that as Kamara crashes in towards Jesus. And I think Jesus is asking for a yellow card there, because it just seemed like there was no intent to win the ball. He just wanted to stop the counter there. Yeah,
exactly. I thought that might have been a yellow card there. It did. I mean, it is early on to be tactical fouling players off the ball, but Kamara comes in with the shoulder and puts the leg across Jesus. There's no intent to play the ball there. The ball's completely gone, and he's just wanting to stop Jesus from getting a counter-attack. So I think he's got away with one there, Bukayo Kamara.
He has, and referee Rob Jones not happy with where the free kick was being taken from. So Arsenal having to retake it. 17 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Goalless between Arsenal and Villa. Goalless between Bournemouth and Wolves. Gary O'Neill in a temporary charge of Bournemouth today after the departure of Scott Parker on Monday. As Bukayo Saka now trying to play a 1-2 with Odegaard. He was always second favourite there was Saka, but Tyrone Mings doesn't want to risk a short pass at the edge of his own box, so he puts it out for a throw, which Arsenal have taken quickly. Odegaard now to Ben White. Back to Odegaard. Lokonga spots Martinelli in plenty of space down the left-hand side. He's got the overlap from Kieran Tierney. That's where the ball has gone. Tierney's cross looking for Saka, Odegaard and Jesus, but it's the tall frame of Tyrone Mings that jumps and clears that away. And then Leon Bailey does well just to force his clearance into Kieran Tierney and out for a Villa goal kick. So Arsenal starting to get into their stride a bit more, but so far Villa seem to be matching them in terms of their defence. Yeah,
they are slightly matching them, but this pressure, if sustained by Arsenal, can only go so long without Villa crumbling. I mean, they've really got to start to try and emulate that the first 5 minutes of pressure that they put on this Arsenal side, and for now it gives a good chance from the goal kick to go and do so, but I think it'll be a much needed bit of respite here for this Aston Villa side to now throw some bodies forward.
Absolutely. 7 efforts already from Arsenal in these first 80 minutes, 2 of which have been on target. Villa have had 2 efforts, both of them have been off target, but Villa are pushing forward now with Buendia after that long clearance from Martinez. Bailey, right hand edge of the penalty area, leaves it for Jacob Ramsey. There's an overlap there from Matt Cash. Cash has no way to cross it though. He goes back towards Kamara. 4 Villa players here on the right-hand edge of the Arsenal penalty area, but again, they just can't find a route to goal. And just 3 passes later, they're back on the halfway line with Konza now to Tyrone Mings. He finds John McGinn, and then McGinn's ball over towards the right-hand side, taken down by Cash. It's with Bailey. Back to Cash again, but Arsenal could say they're doing exactly what Villa are doing with their defence. They've got plenty of players back, making it difficult for Villa to get forward. Ramsey trying to take the Arsenal midfield on there for pace. He gets stopped at the edge of the area, and this is potentially a great counter-attacking chance for Arsenal as Martinelli looks to bring it through. I thought he might have been brought down there on the halfway line, but the referee quite happy to let play go on. And Ben White now going back towards Saliba as it's just getting that little bit more difficult for Villa to keep possession in midfield. Odegaard now back towards Lokonga. Tierney looking to try and push forward. He finds Martinelli. And Tierney carries on his run, but Martinelli keeps possession here for Arsenal. Goes back towards the halfway line. Play now switched over towards Odegaard on the right-hand side. He leaves it for Ben White. Options ahead of Ben White here. Seems like Mikel Arteta's quite happy for Ben White to become his one of his regular right-backs here. He just, as he goes on an overlap there, is stopped by Digne. Odegaard now keeping the ball here for Arsenal, going back towards Lokonga. Long spell of possession is for Arsenal, but in the end, they didn't really even get that close to the penalty area.
No, they didn't. I mean, it was a poor ball there from Tierney. He was slightly stitched up there by his teammate. Lokonga gave it to him with a bit of an awkward bounce on it. Tierney had to get the ball out of his feet early. Bailey was tearing down at him, but I think a simple direct ball into the feet of Martinelli could have kept the attack alive, but in the end, he flashed it over the top of the Brazilian's head, and now Aston Villa have a bit more time to try and play with the ball at their feet, which I think they're doing well so far, but I think they're moving it very quick. They're trying to break Arsenal down quickly, and in doing so, I think they're losing out quite quickly.
They are. I think, as you said, it's the quick pace of the game isn't necessarily suiting Villa's attack, but it does mean, of course, that they can try and win it back off Arsenal quickly, as well as Konza does well there to win the ball back for Villa, but all he can do is clear it up to the halfway line, straight into Arsenal possession as Saliba and White now exchanging passes around about the halfway line. White did look up to try and play a long diagonal ball, but Villa very quickly away from their own penalty area, trying to play as high a line as possible. Xhaka now over to White down the right-hand side, being closed down by Buendia. Odegaard, one touch to Saka, who's forced to track back a long way here with Mings following him all the way to the halfway line. Lokonga now into Odegaard. And now it's with Xhaka spotting Tierney down the left-hand side. He threads the ball in towards Odegaard as Tierney waits down the left. Martinelli went into the box this time, but the ball is out for a throw to Arsenal, which is taken quickly. Jesus trying to keep it in play. I don't think he's managed it, has he? No, the linesman now over on the near side as we look, confirming that it's out for a goal kick, although a wag of the finger there from Jesus. He doesn't agree with that. But I think for how well Arsenal have played in their first 4 games this season, a game at home to Villa, after 21 minutes, I think that certainly someone like Jesus would have expected to have more chances by now.
Yeah, he would, but he's also had a fair few himself anyway. I mean, he had the one where he tried to squeeze it at the near post, which is a really good effort. I mean, he's been slightly unfortunate. The one that sat down nicely for Gabriel on the edge of the box could have easily have made its way into his path, and I think he would have done a lot better with it if it would have fell to him than what it did to Gabriel. But they've had a few chances, Arsenal, nothing quite clear-cut yet as in terms of one-on-ones against the goalkeeper, but I think they're working the ball around well, and I feel like as the game progresses, it will definitely roll into their favour.
It should. That's certainly what Mikel Arteta will be hoping, that just by sheer weight of pressure, Arsenal can wear Aston Villa down. And it has been a while now since Villa have had a sort of a moment of attacking possession where they really put Arsenal under pressure, as Xhaka does really well, musting a couple of Villa players off the ball, threads it in towards Martinelli, who plays it across the 6-yard box, and how has Saka missed that? Bukayo Saka from a couple of yards out. I mean, it was flashed across quickly, but even so, he would have been heavy odds on there, Saka, to put Arsenal 1-0 up on 23 minutes, but somehow it's still goalless. Well,
that is a glaring miss from Bukayo Saka there. A player who's usually so clinical in front of goal. Martinelli whips it across the box. Martinez has beaten it right into that corridor of uncertainty, isn't it? It's a fantastic ball. Nothing the defenders or the goalkeeper could do.
It's because he's let it bounce, and it's just put that little bit of extra height on the ball there, and as he's lifted it, I mean, he's got to score there, Saka. But that's certainly the best chance we've had to score, as Mikel Arteta has his head in his hands there. We've had 23 minutes at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 0, Villa 0, and to take us through to half-time, it's Harry.
Yeah, as Villa try and get some attacking mounted, but before we do continue, I've got another goal to tell you about it. At the Etihad, Erling Haaland has doubled his scores for the evening, as he puts Manchester City into the lead by 2-0, and he is inevitable, Erling Haaland, and he's racking up the goals so early on in the season. Seems like nothing really can stop him as he's on his tear for the Golden Boot just so early on, as not even in the month of September yet, and Arsenal still playing the ball around with the defence. Ben White tries a ball over the top, looking for Bukayo Saka, nodded down by Luca Digne, but then really good play there from Xhaka to put the Aston Villa midfield under pressure. John McGinn lost out, but they're back in possession. Villa once again losing out though. Sambi Lokonga does really well to beat Buendia to the ball in the air. Ball over the top from Ben White, looking for Odegaard, and a really scuffed clearance there from Tyrone Mings, slices it straight out of play for another Arsenal throw on the near side, so the pressure will continue for the home side. Ben White takes the throw in into the feet of Bukayo Saka. He helps it across halfway towards Gabriel, who tries to bring things forward, and Does find Martinelli now on the left-hand side. Tierney making the overlapping run. He is found by Martinelli. Decides to go back towards the Brazilian, and these two enjoying a bit of interplay between themselves as Matty Cash sticks a foot out, gets a vital block, but can only help it out as far as a throw on the far side, and Tierney takes into the feet of Gabriel Jesus, tries to flick it round Boubacar Kamara. Does manage to do so, and Arsenal still moving forward here. Martinelli evades the press of a few Villa players. Odegaard has a chance to open his body up. He does go out wide now towards the left-hand side. Martinelli tries the ball in the box, but deflects off Matty Cash's boot straight into the hands of Martinez, and Villa alleviates some pressure for now, but Arsenal applying this relentless pressure. You just wonder how long they can hold up.
It does seem as though, to say it's a matter of time probably is a little bit too strong, because Arsenal have had a couple of good chances and a lot of promising build-up, but you just feel that Villa have virtually no outlet at the moment. Just as I say that, there was a long clearance from Martinez, which may get through to Watkins, who's heading towards the edge of the area. Ollie
Watkins now moving forward, helps it towards Leon Bailey, and just as he wants to get it outside towards Jacob Ramsey, stopped in his tracks, and what was a really promising attack there from Aston Villa, preying on the mistakes from the Arsenal defence. They couldn't quite make things stick, as now Arsenal trying to play out from the back here. Lokonga into Saliba, who tries the long ball forward just to get the ball out of their possession, and straight into Gabriel Jesus, who flicks it on, but only as far as Ezri Konsa. And with all the good play Arsenal are coming up with, it seems as though a couple of mistakes here and there could come back to bite them, as they're now back out of possession. Tyrone Mings tries another ball over the top. It's a really hopeful one. Nobody really making the run in behind, and it will roll straight through to Aaron Ramsdale for a fairly easy claim.
Yeah, that's where we go now. As soon as Ramsdale claims that easy ball, they show us Steven Gerrard, because he'll be frustrated about the fact that his side are almost starting to panic a little bit when they're in possession, because they know that if they lose the ball, Arsenal are immediately going to try and push forward, and that is putting a bit too much pressure on Villa. So they've got to just try and be a little bit more composed in the few moments when they have got some possession.
And the ball from Tierney goes back towards Gabriel, helps it across halfway. Now Ben White will look to open up some space down the right-hand side. He feeds a direct ball into Odegaard. It was a really nice one. He's completely unpressed as he delivers the ball to Sambi Lokonga, helps it out wide to Tierney. Tierney tries the first-time ball, blocked at the first line of defence, and now they'll look to play out here. Aston Villa with Leon Bailey, helps it down the line towards Matty Cash. He's got a lot of space to run into now, Cash, but not much support in terms of teammates moving forward. He's still moving forward, though, and now does eventually pick out Buendia. Buendia back in towards Cash. It's a nice ball in between the defence. Gabriel prods it away, but it still falls back to Buendia, who flashes the shot at Ramsdale, but it was a low-driven one. Didn't really have to test the keeper very much. In the end, it looked slightly tame.
It was tame from Buendia. I mean, it just shows that Villa are finding the space, because Cash had enough time to stop, put his arms up and say, where's all my support, and still make a pass, and then still get the through ball back from Buendia as well. So Arsenal need to be a bit more careful there. It's just a shame that Buendia doesn't have much of a left foot, but here comes Martinelli.
Martinelli moving down the left-hand side, breaking into the penalty area, scoops the ball in, but it's a half-flashed clearance away by the captain, John McGinn. He's wondering where his teammates were to come and cover across, as there seemed to be a two-man overlap on this near side. It did end up going out for a corner, so Arsenal with another chance from a set piece to throw some of the bigger players in towards the penalty area. Flooding the area now as the corners are swinging heavily in their favour for the home side. Villa not to have a corner just yet. Bukayo Saka, the man standing over the corner. They're all crowding around Emi Martinez there, hopefully trying to put off the goalkeeper, as Saka looks to deliver the left-footed in-swinging ball. Raises one hand in the air and then does float it in towards the front post. It's a good delivery. Gabriel comes arriving in, but he's claiming that it should be another corner. I don't think the linesman may have picked it up. He has picked it up in the end, so it will be a second corner for Arsenal. A really good ball in the box. Yeah, good homework from Arsenal. I mean, Emi Martinez isn't famous for being the best goalkeeper in terms of claiming and punching crosses, so if you can make it more difficult for him to get towards the ball, as we could see, he's using his own players as a sort of shield, but that also restricts him from coming out to claim a cross. So I'm sure Saka will be trying to swing this in as close to that 6-yard box as he can again. Yeah, Saka with a second delivery in towards the box. It's a low-driven one in towards the near post. Didn't really beat the first line of defence, but Villa will look to break now as Ollie Watkins tries to lift the ball over the top, looking for Leon Bailey, but Saka, the man who took the corner, jumps straight back towards the halfway line, and he's there to clean up. Now Arsenal will have a chance to build from the back once again. Tierney flashes it out towards Jesus, who's dropped fairly deep to receive possession. He's moving it forward towards Martinelli. Wants to get back into towards the penalty area. Really good ball from Martinelli. Jesus now skips it past Ezri Konsa. He's gone to ground. The referee says nothing. Jesus was looking for a challenge there, but he seemed to have lost out of possession. And Villa have got away with one there, but I think in the end it wasn't a penalty in my eyes. No, I think Jesus is probably a bit more frustrated that
Yeah, I think he runs into Konza, then falls. I don't think there's any intent from Konza there at all to bring the man down. So it's probably the right decision. Penalty for Spurs away at West Ham. We'll confirm in just a moment whether or not that penalty has been converted. But that's a good early chance there for Spurs to potentially take the lead. Here come Arsenal now with Martinelli.
One-on-one with Matty Cash here out on the left-hand side. Helps it in towards Xhaka. Xhaka tries to flash the ball across the box. It's spilled there by Martinez, and Gabriel Jesus with the easiest goal he'll score of his career. He taps in from about 6 yards. A massive error from Emi Martinez gives Arsenal the lead and gives Villa all the woes that they were hoping to avoid this evening.
Well, it's been such a good effort from Villa to try and restrict Arsenal, to try and stop Arsenal's flow, but then something like that is such a tame effort. It's the sort of effort that Martinez in training would never even spill that, but it's just an easy ball that he just can't quite hold on to. And as you say, Jesus has been in some excellent form since arriving at Arsenal in the summer, but frankly, you're quite right. He's not going to score many easier goals than this. It's good work from Xhaka to find the space, but that's really poor. I mean, there is a slight nick off Ezri Konza there, that's true. And we can see that as soon as the goal is scored, Konza is unhappy with Matt Cash. I think he wanted Cash to watch where Xhaka was rather than getting that close to Martinelli, because Xhaka has got that side of the penalty area completely to himself. There is a nick off Ezri Konza, but I'm not going to make too much of an excuse there. Martinez should still do much better with that.
Yeah, he should, and I was just watching there. Granit Xhaka seemed to be at walking pace when he was making that run in behind. It wasn't really a run in behind. Martinelli had the easy job of just feeding it into him, and I think really poor defending from Villa. They just switched off, allowed Xhaka all the space.
It is poor defending from Villa, but it's also, I mean, it's so unorthodox from the goalkeeper Martinez there. What he's got to do is let that ball come to him, and he's trying to sort of bat it away. He just looks like he wasn't entirely sure what to do with it, which isn't right, because of course Martinez, a former Arsenal keeper, he never really could bed down here at the Emirates. He always seemed to be just a little bit too sort of accident prone, and potentially always had a mistake in him, but he's become established as Villa's goalkeeper, but that's a really bad error.
Yeah, very poor from the goalkeeper. A moment. Lapse of judgment there from the Argentinian, the Copa America winner. He was so instrumental to that Copa America won by Argentina the last time out, but he's really come up and let his team down there with an error, but it just shows character to bounce back from a blunder like that. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares now later on in the game. As it stands, though, Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0, breaking past the 32nd minute this evening at the Emirates. Arsenal back in with some safe possession. Granit Xhaka helps it back towards Aaron Ramsdale, receives it back into his feet. Does the Swiss. He helps it out wide to Sambi Lokonga. Lokonga further on down the line to Tierney. Tierney tries to twist and turn away from the incoming run of Jacob Ramsey, and Arsenal look straight back on the counter there, as it seemed to almost fall nicely for Martinelli. Once again, a really nice ball in from Gabriel Jesus, but I think Martinelli just got caught the wrong side of the defender. The linesman does raise his flag to signify to Gabriel Martinelli was offside, but once again Villa are almost caught napping.
They are, and this is now the problem for Villa, is that they can't really afford to go too far up and go too attacking, because they'll leave themselves exposed, but they can't really sit back and defend a 1-0 defeat either. They've got to try and get back into the game, and that's why it would have been so important for Steven Gerrard, Gary McAllister and the rest of the coaches to get into this Villa team, that they can't concede an easy early goal. And in fairness, they avoided it for the first half an hour, but the goal they've conceded now would have deflated the rest of the team as well. Yeah,
it would have. All the hard work that they put in. They started very strong in this fixture. They seem to have Arsenal on the back foot for moments of this first half, but just caught out with one error. You just wonder whether they'll be able to bounce back, as they're in possession now. Leon Bailey out towards Jacob Ramsey, now back to Cash. Got help down the line, just try and pick out Bailey, but another poor ball from Cash flashes it right down the touch line, and it'll be an easy one for Kieran Tierney to claim. He goes back to his goalkeeper. Ramsdale helps it out towards Saliba, and now Ben White on the near touch line. He's hugging this right touch line. Will go back in towards Saliba, and Villa trying to squeeze Arsenal out of possession, but they've broken the press there as Odegaard drops in to receive the ball. Lokonga now back to White. White tries to drift it over to the left-hand side, and it was a poor ball, and it hasn't been met by Kieran Tierney, but another poor touch from Leon Bailey means that Tierney can now run into a bit of free space down the left-hand side, brings it inside to Xhaka. Xhaka now out to Martinelli, and Arsenal once again look on the front foot as he has Gabriel Jesus in support. Jesus with some nice trickery to dance away from a couple of black shirts in and around the penalty area. Xhaka tries a ball over the top looking for Saka, but I'm not really sure who he was trying to pick out there. It was a really heavy ball. Saka was never going to be able to bring that down.
Yeah, Xhaka puts his hand up to apologise now. I mean, that sort of pass would have been good if he was on the halfway line and Saka was somewhere near the penalty area. Really fired it at his teammate there. Seems like Saka has just got into a bit more of a free roll now. He's ended up on that left-hand side briefly. But with 10 minutes to go in this first half, you certainly wouldn't rule out Arsenal getting another goal because Villa just seem to be really on their haunches right now.
They do. The throw-in's taken by Tierney. Xhaka tries to help it back towards the Scot. Will fly out for another throw-in on the far touchline, this time in favour of the away side. Villa with a chance to regain possession now. Matty Cash with the ball in hand, ready to take the throw, and he's got options further on down the line. We know he can take a long throw in, Matty Cash, but he opts to go short this time in towards Leon Bailey, then tries the long ball over the top. At the second time of asking, Ollie Watkins will give chase to Gabriel, and Gabriel does the safe option there and just nods it away for a fairly comfortable throw-in. But Villa still on the front foot, in line with the Arsenal penalty area. Out on the far side, Steven Gerrard very animated in his technical area. He's gone and taken a seat for what looks like, I think, the first time in this first half. He's been very animated right by the touchline, barking orders to his side on the road as
yeah, I mean, it's been a tough time for Steven Gerrard. I think that when he arrived at Villa, there seemed to be a bit of a new manager bounce, but it didn't last all that long. Villa weren't playing all that well towards the back end of last season, and they've started this season playing very flat as well, and I think it's getting to be a bit of a concern for some of the Villa fans, certainly listening to what they've been saying on social media. It does look as though they're a bit concerned about their attack line, that perhaps the squad just looks a little bit thin, and yeah, it's Steven Gerrard is definitely under pressure. I mean, in fairness, the fixtures they've had haven't been easy, but and this one certainly isn't easy, as Villa do try and get forward, but that's a very cushioned, comfortable header there from Gabriel, nodding it back towards Ramsdale, who actually has been a spectator for most of this first half.
Yeah, he's really had nothing to do, Aaron Ramsdale, but Steven Gerrard's side on him for an easy ride, as it doesn't end here as they go into the weekend against Manchester City side, who are seeming to lay waste to everybody in their path. But for now, the job at hand is against this Arsenal side, who are equally as dominating in the Premier League this season so far. And here they are in possession with William Saliba in towards Lokonga. He receives it back. Saliba, the Frenchman, goes out towards Gabriel. Gabriel helps it further on down the line, and now Arsenal a little bit isolated out on the left-hand side, but a nice ball over the top looking for Gabriel Jesus. He's flicked it on, but nobody in a red shirt was able to give chase and support, so it will run through fairly easily for Emi Martinez. Yeah,
that one's straightforward for the goalkeeper, and then he's not going to make a mess of that one. Jesus now unhappy with... that's ironic, isn't it? Villa are a goal down, and Jesus is unhappy that Villa are wasting time in taking their goal kick. It just goes to show how keen Arsenal are to get back into this game. But Villa starting to run out of ideas there. You know, it was a ball caught by Martinez, and all he's done is punted it down the field. It's away from Watkins and out for a throw. And it's almost like Villa are just clearing the ball and waiting for Arsenal to come back at them again.
Yeah, they need to grab a foothold in this game like they did in the first 5 or so minutes. They looked like the intensity and the press that they were applying to Arsenal was forcing the errors out of the home side, who looked uncomfortable for the first time what would be this season, really. But it didn't last long as Arsenal grew into the game, and now here they are back in possession with Ben White. Odegaard is screaming for it into his feet. He does receive it now. The club captain tries to slot it through to Bukayo Saka, but I think a bit of miscommunication between the pair meant that it ran through for a goal kick. But good signs from Arsenal, but I think just a lack of communication there between Odegaard and Saka.
Yeah, they just didn't quite go on the same wavelength there. We're getting reports that potentially there could be a third goal for Manchester City against Nottingham Forest, which wouldn't really be a surprise the way that City have started this season. And it is a third goal as Villa, again, the TV director just selling us a little bit short there. We were getting replays of that last ball went out of play, and Villa have taken a short goal kick with Martinez making a mess of it to Tyrone Mings. It's straight out for a corner. Arsenal whipped the corner in, which we didn't see live either because we were seeing a replay of the goal kick that had gone wrong. And eventually Villa get a bit of respite with Ollie Watkins being pushed in the back and Villa winning a free kick. But if you could have timeouts in football, Stevie G would be calling one now, wouldn't he?
Oh, he certainly would, as another poor error. But we've spoken about how they've been slinging the ball forward, looking for the ball over the top, and then when they do try and play out from the back, it doesn't work either, as Odegaard picks up a yellow card for his troubles as well in the build-up from that foul, as I think he got the goal scorer for the Manchester City.
Indeed, I mean, I almost don't need to tell you who it is. It's a first-half hat-trick for Erling Haaland there. So, yeah, he's scored 3 on 12, 23 and 39 minutes. So if anyone had any doubts that Haaland might not sort of bed into the Premier League straight away after having some fantastic years in the Bundesliga, I think he's already answered his critics or his doubters in the first month.
Well, he's absolutely flying this season, almost at double figures now in the Premier League, and we're only into the 5th game week. So definitely shouts we've got a boot as Aston Villa give the ball away once again, and in a moment from absolutely nowhere there, Gabriel Jesus looked to try and pick away Tyrone Mings, but they lose out once again here, as I'm struggling to keep up to date with everything that's going on, as Villa just throwing the ball away at this point, as the ball through looking for Gabriel Jesus once again from Lokonga. Villa will clear eventually with Tyrone Mings. This time it will go long and try and buy a couple of seconds of respite, as now Leon Bailey looks to help it over towards Watkins, but he's been dispossessed now by Xhaka. Arsenal straight back on the front foot. Martinelli drifting away from a couple of bodies, and he's still moving with it, Gabriel Martinelli here. He's moved away now from McGinn, and he seems to be completely resistant to any sort of press that Aston Villa throw at him. And now Odegaard helps it through to Saka, into Jesus. Slightly outnumbered here as he's waiting for options to help him in support. He's still moving forward now, Jesus, as then he does stab the ball in towards the Villa penalty area. He's been brought to ground by Boubacar Kamara, who's been at the forefront of a couple of feisty challenges so far in this first half, and this time Arsenal will have a free kick in a dangerous area.
Yeah, it will be in a dangerous area, and Kamara's not happy with this decision, but it's the trickery of Gabriel Jesus. Gets away from Buendia, and I actually think it potentially could be a clip from Buendia that starts to bring Jesus down, and then Kamara collides into him, but potentially the two of them together, it is just about a foul.
Yeah, I think he tried to prod the ball through there, Jesus, and he did get it away from Kamara, and Kamara got none of the ball, so you always put yourself in a dangerous situation when you go to win the ball and end up losing out. So Kamara slightly unlucky, but nonetheless I think a free kick was the right call from the referee, as two Arsenal players standing over the free kick this time. It's Martinelli and Odegaard once again, the same two that stood over most of the free kicks in this first half for Arsenal. This time it will be Odegaard to deliver the ball in the box. He tries a swooping ball in towards the back post. Martinez comes out and commands his area with a heavy punch out towards the far touchline, in which Arsenal will want to get going with straight away. It is taken quickly there by Tierney, and now in towards Gabriel. He was under pressure there from Watkins, but he'll still pick out Kieran Tierney, out on the left-hand side. He does go in towards Odegaard. Now he's found Jesus. Jesus has the option of Ben White making moves down the right-hand side, but Tyrone Mings with some good defending stops him in his tracks. Buendia, this time for him to try and evade a bit of an Arsenal press here, as they look to move forward now, Villa. They've got a few bodies forward, so positive signs for Steven Gerrard's side. Buendia does pick out Ramsey. Ramsey helps it down the line now towards Cash. A couple of players in the box. He does deliver it in towards Leon Bailey. Leaves it for Emi Buendia, who slightly snatches at the chance. He just tries to lift it in towards the top corner, but he doesn't get the desired connection. Ramsdale will have a fairly easy catch.
Well, if he does that but puts the